My travel journey started when I decided to study abroad in Costa Rica during my undergraduate program because I knew I wanted to learn Spanish and I'd always wanted to learn Spanish since I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and there were always Hispanics around me. And just knowing my friends that were so cool, I loved my Mexican friends. Some of them were like Salvadorian, and I just loved my Latino friends. And some of them could speak a language that I didn't know, and it just fascinated me. So I decided to begin my quest to attain as much as I could so that I could eventually reach fluency. So as I grew up, naturally that goal stuck with me, and in college I realized I should study abroad. I wanted my minor to be Spanish, so I decided to pursue that in my third year of college. So I studied through a program called USAC, and I just applied for different scholarships, and I had financial aid and grants and stuff so that I could afford my trip. But it honestly wasn't that much more expensive than staying in Chico, if you can believe that. So I think the semester was 6,000, and I did end up staying for 2 semesters instead of one because I met just some beautiful people in my program. And can you believe this? But okay, so out of this whole program, there were like 20 something of us. But the first semester that I stayed, there were four other black kids, like black students, girls and boys, that were also staying for the whole year. But at that time, I wasn't staying, I hadn't decided to stay for the whole year yet. But I just like thought it was such a sign that, yo, nobody's staying for a year in this program except the black people. And I was the only black person not staying for the whole year. And I was loving Costa Rica. Like, I absolutely adored it. I stayed in the city, even though there's footage of me being at the beach. I wasn't at the beach all the time. The beach is actually like a 5, 6 hour bus ride away. But I loved the local ticos. That's what you call Costa Ricans, like locals. I loved the ticos. I loved my host family because I stayed with a Costa Rican family, really close to my campus too. So I loved the neighborhood that I stayed in. I loved the connections I was making, and I adored the other students that were my peers that were also staying for a year. And I just thought that that was just a huge sign. Um, and like like that's the way that I function though. Like, I pray for confirmation that is so obvious that it's like a duh type of thing. Like, come on now, there's five black kids and four of five are staying for a year, and I wanted to stay for the whole year, so I ended up um spontaneously choosing to extend my stay. And that was an amazing decision. I'm really glad I did that. I did have to take out a loan though because I wasn't financially prepared for that. But my loan was only $3,000, which is not that substantial. I was able to pay that months after graduating college, actually. I did a balance transfer actually of that money to a credit card so that I wouldn't be accruing interest. And so that's basically how my journey started, because before moving to Costa Rica for those 8 months, 2 semesters each, 4 months each, for those 8 months, I hadn't been out of the country other than going on some cruises to Mexico, like North Mexico too, um, with my family. And I was a child. The last one was, I think I was like 6 or 7 years old. So I hadn't really been out the country. So this was my first time out the country, and it was by myself. I did obviously have students that were in the same boat as me, different American students that were also in the same study abroad program. But ultimately, I went out there by myself. I was on the plane by myself, um, and all that. So, but this experience was so amazing because just I like really was just able to bloom and blossom, and I was able to flourish. Like, I had my first musical performances out there, and all my passions, I just was able to go after them because they kind of came to me. Like I met my best friend, my sister. She was the drummer, or she was a drummer in that picture, and just man, like she would take me to her gigs around Costa Rica, and I would perform at open mics. I just can't even go into full, like it was just so beautiful for my evolution, and it was really like just a pivotal point in my life because before moving to Costa Rica, I think I was not I think I was depressed, and I was kind of lost at life. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was very discouraged. I didn't know what the possibilities could be. I wasn't really like that happy. I didn't really feel that fulfilled. But moving to Costa Rica, I was in nature, like in a different climate that I'd never been in. It was a tropical climate, and just really warm, humid, which I'd never experienced. It doesn't really get that humid in LA. And I loved it. Like I loved how moisturized I felt. And like just living with my host families and just the cultural immersion that happened. I'm just so truly grateful for it. And so from there, naturally, my obsession with traveling began because I'm like, wow, like if I can feel this fulfilled out here, like where else could I possibly go that I would fall in love with? Because it was just so different from America, right? Like there's just a lot of countries are just so different from America in terms of how community is defined, and how my life could possibly look. Like I just feel like I was able to imagine a new situation, a new scenario for myself. And I did, because since then I've just been traveling and meeting different people and practicing my Spanish in different countries, different places, and living abroad, like truly just living in other places besides the country that I grew up in. And I learned so much about myself. I overcame so much. And so it just basically taught me that I am capable of like achieving different difficult things and thriving at them actually. So thank you so much for watching this video. That is my journey. That's the origin story of my travel obsession basically. That's why this channel exists, because it's all thanks to Costa Rica and just the humble, welcoming environment that it was for me. And it was just so simple too. Side note, but the food is just so simple and so good. And the bread, there's bread everywhere. We walk everywhere. Oh my gosh, I could go on. If y'all want to hear more about my experience in Costa Rica, just let me know. Drop a comment, and I can expand on that. But I found these images on older hard drive, um, 2016, 2017. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below what you thought of this video. Peace.